Preparing for titude is an interesting thing for our department and for myself especially. This is our first full-fledged concert for the year 2022, and behind the scenes there are many things going on for us to achieve this concert. So I'm actually very excited, and I hope the students will feel excited as well. So to all the dancers on stage, all the best. Working with DA has been an exciting and fulfilling experience. The students are actually very mature for their age, and they have lots of creativity from all of them. So for me, it's also very interesting to hear some ideas that they have, and to work with them actually gives me lots of, I'll say, sometimes stress, but most of the time happiness to work with them. So yeah.
It's always challenging, but also rewarding. This is I think, my 6th altitude this time after 2 years of postpone of COVID, and it's finally back, and I'm really glad to see it's back, and I'm really glad the students has a platform to share their passion in contemporary dance through dance and altitude. Okay, the difference is we had COVID. We had 2 years break, and like an engine, once you stop for a certain period of time to rerun the engine, it takes much more effort. It takes dedication, and everything is cut down from budget and everything, and the amount of dancers. So to restart everything back, it's not an easy task, but after seeing the full run just now, the rehearsal, I have nothing but positive attitude towards this concert, and it's gonna be a really good one. And I hope the audience will be able to enjoy together with me on the show day. With dance art, it's always a joy. It's always a privilege to see the students of SIM enjoying themselves on stage and during rehearsal. It's always fun and stressful at the same time, but mostly fun.
Oh yeah, so I've been shooting for SIMDA for the last, I think since 2018, 2017. DA is a very small but tight-knit group. I guess the dancers have to work through very challenging situations in terms of training times, etc. Right? So it's quite amazing what they have achieved in this short period of time. I don't think I spent enough time with them, so it's always a bit like, sometimes I go, it's the first time the shoot is the first time I see their pieces. So it is a lot of, I guess, going by music and going by who is doing the choreographing, and I can get an idea from there. Another challenge is the venue, of course, sometimes because the SM's theatre is a bit tight. So in terms of shooting, I always have to think, do I want to go as close as possible or as high as possible? So these are some of the practical challenges. Yeah. The 2-year break from live shows for DA, right? It's both a pro and a con. Con, of course, they miss out on having a live audience in front of them. That helps a lot when dancers need to project energy. They need to have a focal point, which in this case will be the audience. The pro is that they have actually picked up new skills in terms of doing video productions. And I think right now, everyone is a bit more comfortable in front of camera. Everyone knows where to look, where to project the energy towards. So I think while we are coming back to live shows and maybe video will not be so important right now, but I think this is a skill that they have, and they could use it in future to do like more hybrid style productions as well.
she Russia, them don't know why we there. Them a look for we, and them a search for we. Them a look for we, and them a search for we. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. London we there, them don't know why we there. Tokyo we there, them don't know why we there. Sydney we there, them don't know why we there. Down America, why we there. For we, and them a search for we. Them a look for we, and them a search for we. Them a look for we, and them a search for we. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. I say they want see we, I say they want know we, I say they want feel we, I say they want hear we talk, they want touch we up, they want we presence in that place. Around them, me put in a me pocket. That catch a falling around them, me put in a me pocket. Them a look for me, and them a search for me. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. I come and say we there, them don't know why we there. I feel tough we there, them don't know why we there. I Lagos we there, them don't know why we there. Down America, America. This a light that shine well bright that no day. This a light that shine well bright that no day. Island of the lamp and me see it burning. Island of the lamp and me see it burning. Rastafari am the king of kings. Rastafari am the king of kings. Look for we and them a search for we. Look for we and them a search for we. Look for we and them a search for we. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. I say they want see we, I say they want know we, I say they want feel we, I say they want hear we talk, they want touch we up, they want we presence in that place. I catch a falling around them, me put in a me pocket. I catch a falling around them, me put in a me pocket. Them a look for me and them a search for me. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. I come and say we there, them don't know why we there. I feel tough we there, them don't know why we there. I Lagos we there, them don't know why we there. Down America, why we there. Catch a falling around them, me put in a me pocket. I catch a falling around them, me put in a me pocket. Them a look for me and them a search for me. I say they can't find me now, them don't know why we there. I come and say we there, them don't know why we there. I feel tough we there, them don't know why we there. I Lagos we there, them don't know why we there. Down America, why we there.
I've always wanted to use the working dance elements of it into a jazz piece, because I feel that jazz is actually a very versatile dance genre that allows me to use elements of other dance style into this piece. And this piece focuses more on arms movement, using that to bring out the concept and the intention of the dance. Yeah, so this is why this is what inspired me to for this piece. Working with SIM girls, I think this is my 5th year choreographing for dance arts, and each time I do it, each time I think the girls grew, and the process of the training and the rehearsal always gets smoother. Even though not everyone danced with me since the start, but a good half of the girls in my item are alumni, so it makes it easier to actually work with people who have the experience working with me, and at the same time can guide the new dancers who have not worked with me before.
So a fun fact, the audio you'll be hearing at the start of the dance actually comes from a cosmetic brand ad. A lot of cosmetic brands like to use women and women's bodies to sell their products. Sometimes they use women's bodies respectfully, and other times the opposite. Which really got me thinking about what we women go through to make ourselves look good and beautiful to society. So my piece explores the questions on what is beautiful. It is a jazz dance that explores the lines our bodies can create and how the added challenge of wearing heels can affect the different dancers' emotions and ways of movement. Now, saying it is a jazz dance may spark certain expectations in what you are about to see, but one of my intentions for this piece is not only to challenge the idea of what is women beauty, but also to challenge the classiness of the dance genre. This time round, I actually have an almost all new cast of dancers, and it's always fun to work with new personalities and explore new things with new people. It was challenging teaching the dancers how to really perform the item, how to bring across their personalities in the piece, and how to dance and walk confidently in their heels. But overall, the dancers worked really hard, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. I hope the dancers enjoyed the process and will give their all on stage.
It was easier when I didn't have to know yet. Who decides if I'm beautiful? All these questions that we women ask ourselves. soon enough, I will too. Is it my body? When did I start to think my freckles looked funny? Wondering if this is supposed to look like that. Too soon, probably. How to be a woman like this? Maybe I can try looking more like them. Never mind. Just hold this feeling a little longer. Until for the first time somebody decided, I'm not in love.
So when I was cast into this item, I was really excited because I always wanted to be in her item. I really like her style, I really like her lines. She's given us really good cues and really good feedback, and I think I've grown personally as a dancer in her item.
VII's style is very unique, and what I like is that she incorporated the theatric emotions to this piece. She guides us in a sense that not everyone's the same. How our body work is all different, and I really like the confidence that she gave me throughout this whole preparation. Yeah.
I think this time around it was nice to have the other alumni in this item to contribute with choreography wise. Like we gave input as well. So there are some parts of the piece that you will see that are steps are by us. So there are different aspects of how we are as dancers that you can see reflected in the piece.
I think working with Peter in a piece this time is new because I find it a bit more of like a collaborative process. Peter has also been definitely very helpful in terms of articulating what he wishes to see, what he wants in the piece. So it's been very fun.
It was so much easier to coordinate, I guess, because we were all students.
So now come back as working adults, I think it's quite hairy. I think most of the alumni just rushed out after their work and put in 100% for all the practice.
And it's also about finding pockets of time in between your work schedule to practice for the item. But at the same time, I feel very grateful to have a platform to dance.
Yes, there were a lot of challenges faced because personally, I don't have any dance background. So for us to keep up with the rest of the dancers, especially the alumni and our seniors who had previous concert experience, it was very intimidating for me, but I've learned a lot. Yeah.
I think a personal challenge for me has definitely been my technicality as a dancer. It's a lot of drilling the textures of the movement, the detailing. I appreciate that because I think it really pushes me out of my comfort zone and helps me to perform better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the interactions, all these small interactions outside of practice and really inside of practice as well, but both ways that really bring us all together as batchmates, as a club and everything. And that's the thing that I really love and my favorite memory of VIII.
I think one of the core memories that I have is in 2016, and we went to Cebu in Malaysia for the International Dance Festival. And when we came back, we had to quickly prepare for our debut, so it's right next to each other. Yeah, I think through that whole process, even though it was very stressful and tiring, but we really bonded, and those are the things that really stayed, even though it was very difficult. Yeah.
I think one of my most memorable moments with VIII would definitely be Stage 4, and that was the first time I set foot on the PAT stage. So it was definitely exciting, and it was also our first proper production. So yeah, I think the whole process of planning, executing, and also performing definitely made it a very memorable experience for me in VIII.
lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng the lama ha ha yeah ha prama ha ha leng no
Irene?
I think Misha is very chill, but she gets her things done by the timeline. And her practice are usually very fun. Always work hard and stay hard together.
I feel like Meisha doesn't let the stressful timeline like affect her, so in turn it doesn't affect the dancers and like it's just a very fun environment in general.
I think as a dancer, working with Kenneth is very comfortable because he always like gives the room for the dancers to express their songs. And I like the way he arranged every practice because like for example before the practice he will set the goals for the next break and the things we need to do. Then I think it will make the practice more effectively and efficient to me.
Having Brian as a choreographer has been very, very fun. But not gonna lie, it's been quite stressful sometimes, but he knows how to make situations light and fun.
It's actually my 4th time doing Brian's item and it has always been a great pleasure because like we always end our rehearsals with a lot of laughter and also of course with a lot of body aches all over the next day.
I feel like the use of the props this time around was quite difficult because we had to use like shui xiu, which is something that most of us have not explored with. Right? And I feel like in this item we have some Chinese dance elements included as well, which is also something I personally have not explored or tried before. So getting the steps right and like the sequence and learning how to manage the shui xiu in general was quite challenging.
I think the most challenging part is the language barrier because I feel like sometimes I cannot get the instructions directly. I need to process all the information and also I will sometimes feel frustrated when I cannot express myself precisely.
In general, everybody's challenge is that sometimes it's hard to express the emotion. So like Kenneth's items are about like the breath of inhaling and exhaling and what happens in between. So I think the challenge is that because it's not our usual way of breathing, so it's something that we need to practice. Yeah.
I think my favorite memory is suffering after dance break. Like whole item or even like last time like usually with the members Elazar or McDonald.
Yeah, I'm an alumni. It's been many years. But over the years we really like make friends with like new batches and then we build a community. And I think what's really nice about like being like in dance is that everybody always helps each other out. Like we give corrections and then it's the bonding, it's the fun and like the chit chats that make it very wholesome. Wonderful.
I was actually quite excited at the beginning because we did sits previously, but it was like videos and everything. There was no audience, but this time there is audience, and I was quite excited about this whole thing. But when we are into this during and now it's happening, to be honest, it's quite overwhelming because we have not done this before. Like we have not performed like this before, and straight away we have to take up like comm roles and take over the jobs to do like finance, logs and everything. But I still do enjoy the whole process, and I feel like it's quite a nice learning process, yeah.
Yeah, so as Sylvia mentioned, we've actually never done a live production before, so it's definitely been quite a tough but interesting journey for us. So we've had a lot to learn from our past seniors and alumni, as well as our instructor, Peter, and Chris, our club advisor. And we've had a lot of support from the school side, including student development, as well as our family and friends, which is what has actually made this journey a lot more worth it. Yeah, and I think overall we're all just really excited to be performing live once again.
I feel like it is a very different kind of experience because being part of comms, we don't just only have to focus on our dance, but we have a lot of things to go on behind the scenes. But then with the help of our instructors, seniors and alumni, I feel like we have learned a lot through the process. It is also very fulfilling to see how everyone's hard work paid off, and I'm really excited to show what everyone has to show on stage.
Okay, so there are many things that we have to do in preparation for the production. So some of the things are liaising with the choreographers, the item ICs, and keeping track of how much the progress, and keeping track of the progress of the items and how to help the dancers improve.
For me, I do the planning of the productions from the start to the end. So some things include preparing our e-booklet and also the design of the e-posters, and also making sure that the item costumes arrived on time, and also managing our social media accounts.
Okay, so after coming back from like a 2-year break on most activities because of COVID, there's actually a lot of things that DA has planned for our upcoming year. So one example would be our inter-varsity dance exchange with the other uni contemporary clubs. So we're actually in the process of planning that now, and it will be taking place in December. Yeah, and we're all really excited for it because we'll get a chance to work with the other clubs as well as the other instructors, and we believe that we have a lot to learn from them.
Yeah, and also I'm quite excited because like we have not been in huge groups for like 2 years or more, and now we get to interact with more people. I feel like it's a good chance because rather than just staying with like DA itself ourselves, I feel like we can go and interact with new people and get like different experience, because I believe every club got their own culture, and we can interact and learn from each other.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I think you're crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. Let us put our hands together to welcome our dancers back on stage. First up, introducing to you the dancers from Abyss, choreographed by Peter Teo in collaboration with the dancers. Next, we have the dancers from Talk to Me, choreographed by VIII. From our third item, we have the dancers of Body, choreographed by Dana Calamber. Next, the dancers of Merc, choreographed by Meisha Tay. Followed by the dancers of Finding Kumbhaka, choreographed by Kenneth Tan. Last but not least, we present to you the dancers from Procession, choreographed by Brian Lee. Up next, let's invite the choreographers up on stage. First, our alumni choreographers Meisha Tay and Dana Calamber. And of course, our guest choreographers VIII, Kenneth Tan and Brian Lee. We would like to give give a big shout out to Alberta Willio, our lighting designer for the wonderful lighting, our photographer Kwang Ting Kai, our videographer Roger Yo, our stage manager Peter Teo, and our assistant stage manager Mia. Our junior team, doubling up as backstage, front of house and ushers, our dance art alumni, our club advisor Chris Yong, and not forgetting our resident instructor and also the artistic director for tonight's concert, Peter Teo. And finally, the team behind the production, the 12th Executive Committee of SIM Dance Art. This production would not have been possible without the support from SIM Global Education, SIM Campus Infrastructure and Operations, SIM Theatre and AV Management Team, SIM Student Development from the Student Life Division, and of course, not forgetting you, our wonderful audience. This is SIM Dance Arts' 8th production here at SIM Performing Arts Theatre. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did. It has been a pleasure to be your MC for the show. Thank you and have an enjoyable weekend.